so thank you so much for tuning in to my YouTube channel. If you are new, again, this is about my journey to closing on my new house. And also, my channel is a mixture of my business as well, Glam Hair Packs LLC. But mostly we have been just vlogging my journey because I think it is something that is life changing and it is something that I want to remember. So, and maybe I could be helpful to some other people. So, I know that this journey has been pretty crazy. It's been ups and downs. Like, literally, I'm always by my phone. Like, my lender from Lakes Area Mortgage, he always said, Andrea, be prepared to be by your phone all the time in case there's any questions that the underwriting has. Just want to make sure that you are able to respond pretty quickly and efficiently, which I have been. I mean, I gotta say, for the week that it's been with underwriting, there were so many things that and documentation that they needed. You have to provide documentation as to why there was deposits in your account or whatever the case may be. So of course, I have a business checking account for my business that I have with Glam Hair Packs LLC. So underwriting did come back to my lender and say, well, what's the income that also you are receiving from your business? Because we do notice that this is a business account. We know that you're also a full-time worker because of course, I also have a full-time job. Then also, um, my child support from my daughter that also gets deposited. So there was just so many questions that they needed that I had to get back and prove documentation for that. So finally, yesterday I did receive what they call is a cleared for closing, which means that you are now cleared, which I felt like it was the most nerve-wracking experience ever because I'm like, every time there was something that they needed, and I'm always on pins and needles, like what else are they going to dig up and find? I just want to be able to get the keys and get to my house. Well, now that I got the cleared for closing, yesterday, I was able to also go out with my peers and my coworkers, and we kind of just had a relaxing moment. They were proud of me, congratulating me, and we kind of had wine, and it was just the best night ever. And I'm just so excited because next week is the week that I close. So September 3rd, 2021, I will be closing on my house. I think I arrive at 9 a.m. I'm definitely going to vlog that experience, see if they will let me bring my vlogging camera in to vlog. Well, I can possibly do it on my phone like I normally do. That's probably shouldn't be an issue. So I definitely want to do that. And yeah, I think also, so the day before my closing, which is that Friday, September 3rd, we have to do the final walkthrough. So the final walkthrough will be on Thursday. They kind of worked around my schedule with work and other things that I have going on with my outside business. So I'm able to do my walkthrough on Thursday at 5:30. So I kind of want to vlog that. We were kind of going back and forth with the seller because the seller, there was issues that needed to be resolved before closing on the house. And the things that needed to be resolved were, two were minor, two were major to me. Like the sewer line was clogged. My inspector that I paid took a camera and it goes down the sewer line, and it couldn't go no further to inspect the sewer line because it was clogged, and it was clogged by I think they were saying by roots, literally by roots. So like branches and the roots, I think, were like clogging the sewer line. So we said that that's something we would need that to be resolved before I moved in and got my keys, because me and my daughter, we don't want to be flushing toilets and then they back up. So they agreed on that. And then there was another one kind of like on the electrical side, but not really on the electrical side. It's something that could possibly be an issue or a problem moving forward for us. The wattage that they were using was a tad bit bigger than what the circuit breaker was. The circuit breaker saying that it was at a 20. They had it with a 30 wattage, and it's like, well, why were you doing it 10 more than what it is? That can overblow my central air. So I mean, I was asking questions. So that, yes, is nothing electrical with the house yet, but being that that was a little bit bigger than the circuit breaker, well, yeah, we want you to make that the same, the same as the actual circuit breaker. If it's at a 20, don't put a 30 on there. That just doesn't make sense. So they're supposed to have resolved that. And then there was minor things like the garage door opener, it closed with you holding the button and not with us just tapping the button. I'm like, that's not a big deal to me. But my realtor, he's very good. He's from Remax Results, and he went in for me. He's like, well, no, you can see about fixing that. And so there was just minor things like the microwave button that's because I have a microwave that's above the stove, which I don't think I plan on keeping it, but he thought that that should be resolved. So there's other things that I noticed, but I think I'm going to resolve myself. Like there's branches that are kind of brushing up on the roof because there is a tree in the backyard. It's kind of like the branches have like sprung further out, and I don't want it to mess up the shingles on the roof. And the realtor just said, hey, this is something that you might want to get someone to trim it for you. So we will do that. And then the gutters, they were like, I guess there's no covers on the gutters, so I guess there's a lot of debris in there. So again, I have to get that resolved. So there will be a lot of like stuff that I'm gonna do, but I'm excited. And then to get that done. And then just overall, like just with closing and then working with these programs, because there was things that I needed to do to make sure that my homeowner's insurance also were listed on there, because I did get down payment assistance and making sure that they're listed on there. So the final emails started rolling in as it started getting closer. I had to provide documentation of my policy number, who I am with, which is State Farm, and I've been with that agent for so long, so I was able to get them that documentation as well. And so it just became kind of a smooth process. I mean, at the beginning it wasn't as smooth, but as we started getting closer, it's starting to get there. So I'm excited about that. Also, there was an issue with the sellers getting back to us, that which it's really weird because the seller had sent us proof of documentation, because I'm closing next week, that they were able to fix the issues. But I noticed in the fine print on whoever that they used, I think it's called Roots, something like that. Sorry for butchering it, but I have the paper. But they put in the fine print that the sewer pipes were older, because this is an older house, that in the long run it could possibly be some links that occur because it's corroded. So years on down the line, this will be an issue for me. And I'm like, oh, well, long as it's in working normal order now, you have resolved the clogged sewer line, I guess I can't complain, because it is in working condition, and that's what we asked for. I mean, the company that you chose to fix the issue put in the fine print that this could be an issue in the long run. You guys can't control that. It is in working order as of now. So, but that did alarm me. So other than that, I mean, I'm just going with it. I just want to let everyone know that there is resources available for first-time homebuyers. Don't give up on your dream. We are so excited. We will be getting just the knickknacks that we need. Probably change the door locks is the first thing that I'm going to do once I get the keys. Probably change the toilet seat. Paint my daughter's room so that can dry. Then Saturday, the next day, we have our move-in truck, which is at 7 a.m. Yes, we are doing this early because we get out of the townhome this month as well. So, I mean, September when we close next month. So we just want to have everything transferred over to the new house by then. So we will have the moving truck pretty fast. So we think we're going to paint on the day that we get the closing documents signed and get the keys. go to Lowe's or Home Depot, buy her paint. She wants a pastel pink, and then we'll paint her room. Then tape it up, seal it up, and make sure that we cover the whole wall. And then by the time we go back to our townhome and get the truck the next day on Saturday morning, we're hoping that that room will be completely dry. That's the goal, because we don't want to bring heavy furniture in there and it backfires and it's all wet. Shouldn't take that long to dry if we're doing it pretty early, and it has the whole day, the whole night to dry. And then by the time we move, it's still gonna be hours before we get there because we gotta load everything on the truck. So that should also be good as well. So I also wanted to elaborate, so I know I made another video about the down payment assistance and the closing costs assistance programs that are available in Minnesota. I know that other states may vary, but I also wanted to elaborate just a little bit more on that, because I know that other states have different requirements and stuff. I'm seeing on YouTube that certain people, you had to do a lot just to get the programs, and ours just seems like minimum requirements. But I did want to elaborate that if anybody was interested in residing in the state of Minnesota, not sure if it's has to be in the state of Minnesota. Sometimes some of these programs can be done within your state. Neighborhood Lift program is a program that can help with those closing costs and down payment assistance. So I did want to elaborate on that more in case I could help someone in the future who's like, well, I don't have that much money for my closing costs. Well, I used that and they were wonderful. You have to do an intake with a representative, and then once you do the intake with the representative, you sign an application. Every Monday, they pull a representative for the grant. Basically, it's like a grant / loan, because it's contingent on, it can become a loan if you end up moving out of your house within 5 years. They say the minimum, you stay in your house for 5 years, the grant is forgivable. So it's a grant / loan, depending on what you choose to do. So I will be in my house longer than 5 years. So I know, to me, you're considered a grant. And that's what it is. Unless something happens and I have to move, right now I'm considering you a grant. But I just wanted to do that because I don't want to mislead anyone. So that is how the requirements are. And then another thing, for someone who's like, well, what all to expect for just the whole overall buying process and what it took for me. I know that my credit score is a 726. My minimum requirement for my lender was 660 to qualify for a mortgage loan. Then they also look at debt to income ratio. As long as your debt to income ratio is at a good percentage. I kind of forgot what the percentage was, but I didn't have that much debt. But maybe in a later video I could give you the actual percentage. But as long as that percentage is pretty low, that's also another good thing. And making sure that you have not missed any payments recently on any, like, if you have credit cards, loans, or anything, because they kind of look at that. They will be leery to give you a loan if you have like screwed up 2 months ago, you know what I mean? So that was that. Once I put in the application, ran the credit, got a credit hard inquiry, because yes, it is going to be that on your credit report. It only knocked no, it actually didn't change my credit score. That did not affect it, which is weird, because I don't do a lot of hard inquiries, because I'm trying to get to the 800 club. When I get to the 800 club, I'm telling you, baby, I ain't gonna be applying for nothing. But anyway, so I kept that low because I'm trying to get to the 800 club. So I don't really apply for new things. So when they had to run my report and it became a hard inquiry on my report, it didn't affect my credit score at all. Now, when you get multiple, of course, it is going to drop it. So for me, it didn't. The one thing that I am interested to also know, which is a sidebar, is once I do get the mortgage added to my credit report, I just hope it doesn't bring me down, because I'm trying to get to the 800 club. But reading and seeing other YouTubers' vlogs, they said it didn't do that, but I guess it will depend on your individual credit report. So I am going by my experience and what I'm going to see. And I'm going to vlog that to help anyone else that this is what had happened to me. Now, if it brings it down, I have to tell the truth then. So that is that. And then the next step was, if you have a good lender, he will give you information about other closing costs and down payment assistance programs, which he did, but I already had a coworker who referred me to him, so I already knew about the programs. So once I did my intake and did all that, got approved. And what's crazy is because I came really fast on being with the neighborhood works, they do like this lottery like every Monday. I'm not sure if there's not a lot of people house hunting at this time because they were like, yeah, Andrea, we did intake with you. I know last week and not the next, because I literally did intake on a Thursday. Then that Monday was the intake, the lottery. And I'm like, well, I'm probably not going to even be picked. But she already knew I was at the stage of my purchase agreement. I already put in an offer. Once I put in an offer, signed the purchase agreement, mine was so sped up that if I didn't get chose, I don't know what was going to happen. But I ended up being chose because I think she sent me an email like, well, you're so far along at this point. You're farther along than other people. Most people come to the program who haven't put an offer on the house. They're just house hunting at this point. You already put an offer in the house before you even did the application. So you were like way ahead of the game, signed the purchase agreement. So I was so far, so that it would be silly not to choose my name to help me, because that's what the program is there for. Yeah, they could choose people that are just house hunting, but I was so far along. If they didn't help me now, I still had a program with Lake Area Mortgage, but his is strictly a loan. So I still had that, but two is better than, well, one is still good, two is still good. None, it would be worse than anything, I would say. So I'm not even gonna say two is better than one, because having none at all would be just the worst. So I'm willing to accept one. So yeah, but two programs I'm got help with. So, but long story short, that was the next step. Is then you start looking for closing costs and down payment assistance programs. And then once you do that, then the next step would be the sellers, they have to like get their ball rolling and making sure that they agreed that they would fix all these things. I already put in my offer. Are you going to agree to fix this if this is something that I want to purchase? They got back to my realtor, which not in a reasonable time. They're supposed to be able to respond, I think, if they not mistaken, within 48 hours, my realtor said. And when he dragged it out for about 72 hours, I was like, so is the house not going to be mine? Are they not willing to fix the sewer line? Do I need to go back out there and house hunt me and my daughter? Because we can do that. Yes, it was so many this was house number 11. So I'm like, well, if we have to do that, then can I know now? I don't want to wait that long. He said, I'm so sorry. I've been busy with other clients. I kept reaching out and they haven't responded. So he had to not send a nasty email, but he sent an unpleasant one stating that this is unprofessional. She is looking for a response. You're getting my, basically getting her all riled up, and I'm working with her, and she's worried that we're going to have to, can we get a response on that? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I guess that person was busy as well. So she got back and said, oh, the seller agreed. I'm like, well, really? You had me all worked up for 72 hours and you agree? So once she agreed, that was it. That was the next step. Now, basically, the ball really wasn't in my court at that point. I'm like, okay, so now I'm all in now. So now the next step would be letting my mortgage lender and underwriting do their due diligence, making sure that when I need to search for a homeowner's insurance, but I knew there wasn't going to be pretty much a search because I've been with State Farm for so many years, 9 years, have so much with them: auto insurance, life insurance, rental insurance, anything you name it, they try to offer it to me because I've been with them for so long. But hey, I'd rather, if you trust me and you've been with me this long and you have my back, if ever anything shakes up, why would I leave? So I reached out to them for homeowners insurance, got that drafted, sent that right away. So now the ball was back. It was just like playing back and forth. Like at first it was in their court, then they said, hey, we need you to search for homeowners insurance. Did that, sent it via email. Now the ball was back in their court. Then I didn't hear from them for a while. I kept reaching out to my lender, like, hey, is there anything else that you need from me? No, Andrea, we'll let you know. Just stay by your phone. And if there's anything I need, just make sure, he calls it homework. Make sure you're doing your homework. If there's something I need, please get back to me right away, so we can get that documentation. And he calls it homework. Like, yeah, you don't have homework. Yep, I didn't reach out to you because you don't have anything. I'm like, okay. So then he will reach out to me like for little things, like you have a business account. We need to know the income that's coming in there outside of your taxes from your job and all of that. And so I had to prove that documentation, just little bitty things, but they were kind of small things. There weren't big issues like other people were saying. Like they pretty much, I don't get a lot of crazy deposits into my account. I stopped Zelling my family members because that you got to prove those Zelle payments, PayPal, all of that. So I stopped doing that because I knew I was in the process of buying a home. They look at all of that. So sending statements, a couple things. He said, can we get the most recent statements, pay stub. So got that information over. I happen to have 2 checking accounts, 1 saving account. So I had to give 3 different statements, 2 of each, because I happen to have a regular checking account and the business checking account. And then I also have a savings account because the savings account happens to be linked to the checking account. So I kind of have money just kind of in different accounts, but I had to prove that. So I thought the underwriting was really going to go crazy on my bank statements. Like, what is this? What is this? But it actually was a breeze. I was cleared for closing. That's the best email I've ever received. Well, on top of me getting the offer accepted, that was the best call I've ever received. Now this is the best email I received. And then he finally sent me another email to say, Andrea, this is the documents. Please don't sign it until closing on September 3rd. But here's the documents in your email. Please send an email confirming that you have received these documents. I said, hi, I received this is confirmation that I have received the required documents. Thank you so much. So I sent him the email, so it's good. So now I'm got like 6 or 5 more days. I think it's 6. Today's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, it's 5 more days. And then Friday is the day. I don't count Friday. We have 5 actually working days till I get to, oh wow, this is deep. Now I'm starting to get nervous. So I have packed up everything in my house where we eat out here and there. We've been just saving money for unexpected expenses. I am gonna have to come, I think, what, $550 or so for my closing money for closing. So I'm gonna come with my checkbook to pay that, and then I just got other stuff going on. We have an alarm that's gonna be updated because they did have alarm in the house, but ADT will come and update those. So I'm gonna have that done on Saturday. So I want to make sure I'm there to. Oh boy, I better make sure I'm moved in by then. Ooh, I didn't think of that. Well, he's coming to fix that, so I gotta make sure I'm on site for that. It's gonna be a hectic day on Saturday. I don't know why it's scheduled. I think he scheduled me for Saturday. I should have told him a different day. Then there's no doorbell in the house, so I gotta get electrical out for that. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. So I just wanted to give you guys the rundown on what all I went through, and now it's finally at the end, and I'm happy. Sometimes I thought there was never a light at the end of the tunnel. It's like, you're walking in a dark tunnel. Like, where is the light? That's what I thought, but apparently there is a light. Stick it out, you'll get there. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. There will be more videos back to back because now we're speeding up. At first, there wasn't nothing to vlog because I packed everything. You guys were there for the packing, for me to talk about other stuff. But now this is clear for closing. Just giving you guys the update on that. Now it's time to kick into overdrive. So thank you guys for tuning in. Glamour Squad, I appreciate all of you guys. And thank you for tuning in for my journey. Please always remember, do not give up. I thought I had the worst credit score out there. No one would ever accept me. But here I am, and I'm going to tell my daughter that when she gets older. Don't give up on your dream. You are who you want to be. It's that simple. But okay, thanks guys for tuning in. Love you. See you all in the next clip.